finally getting around to an idea that I had quite a while ago. So I think scars are really cool. I guess it's kind of good because I have a lot of them. I think I like scars because it usually coincides with something happening, and because something's happened, there's generally a story. Thus, at the beginning of 2014, I will be starting a channel called Scar Stories. Here's a little intro I put together. Ow, that's gonna leave a mark. I figured today I would start off with talking about one of my scars, one that I've mentioned before in a video, and actually I think I showed my CT scan from it before, hint hint. But the only thing that you can see now is that I'm missing some hair in this eyebrow, a little line. You cannot really tell that I broke my eye socket. It was senior year of high school, I was playing baseball, we were practicing on a Sunday, and we had hopped the fence to get onto the field because our coach hadn't shown up to let us in, and we were practicing with one of my best friend's uncles who played professional baseball for a long time. The main two positions I played were pitcher and first base, so we were doing drills with first base where I was at first and the rest of the guys we were working with were at shortstop. They would work on rounding the ball, and then they'd purposely throw the ball in the dirt to me, so I would have to pick it out of the dirt. The day was going really well. Like, there was only a couple balls that had got by me, and we were on the last round. Everybody's gonna do one more, and then we were gonna switch and move on to another drill. First couple guys got it. And my brother comes up, and he throws what's a mid hop. So short hops are pretty easy. Long hops aren't too bad to get, but the mid hops, you just kind of hope in a prayer that you get it. And it was backhand, and I fully committed to getting it. Then it took a really bad hop and hit me in the face. Because of Sandlot's one of my favorite movies, I immediately opened my eyes and oh, okay, good, I can still see. But then I immediately was on the ground in pain and bleeding, left my nice little pool of blood on the grass for a while there. Eventually got myself up. My friend looked at my eye and said, okay, well, the cut doesn't look too bad. My eye was swollen shut at this point. But we called my mom just in case because now I couldn't drive home. We worked on getting me up and over the dugout to get out instead of trying to climb over the fence again. So I made it over safely. And then my mom drove me to the hospital. I was in the overflow ER and sharing a space. It's the curtain rooms, and the person next to me was having neck pain or something. So they gave this patient some morphine and took her to get an MRI. And they came back about 5 minutes later saying we couldn't get the MRI because she couldn't stand still or sit still or lie still or whatever. And she was humming and singing Saints Go Marching In and all kinds of stuff. She was obviously having a very interesting reaction to the drugs. For me, I had a CT scan where you can see my really crooked septum first from when I broke my nose earlier that year. And then you can see that right underneath where the eyes are, there's a little trap door, it looks like, that is opened down into the sinuses. That's where it actually broke. So it broke inside my head, what's called the orbital floor. So if this is a cross section and your eye would look out here, I broke down here. It's super thin. Basically the ball came in and hit everything, compressed all the tissue inside. That pressure had to go somewhere, and it went out the bottom. As my career goal is actually to be a surgeon, I'm really not that squeamish, and I wanted to watch them give stitches. I like to watch when they draw blood or any other kind of those procedures. But I couldn't see him because my eye was swollen shut and he was giving me stitches in my eyebrow. So I asked if I could have a mirror to watch him, and he very sternly said no. So I got the stitches, and then I had to go to an ophthalmologist once the swelling went down to check my vision and check basically the alignment of my eyes to make sure they were still on the same level and they were close enough, not enough to cause any vision problems. And then I got to go to a plastic surgeon who looked at the CT scans, and I had to get more and more CT scans as it went on to check to make sure that everything was healing just fine, because if it didn't, I would have this crazy surgery. They would actually go in through the inside of my eyelid, take the bone out that's under my eye, and put in a titanium mesh, and then the bone would grow into the mesh, so I'd permanently have the titanium in, which is kind of a crazy thing. And I didn't end up needing surgery or anything like that, but that'd be an even crazier story, I think. This injury was pretty significant for me because it's when I kind of decided that I wasn't going to pursue baseball in college, really. When I'm on a wilderness instructing trip and people ask how did you get here? What moved you in this direction? I usually say that I broke my eye socket as a senior in high school. And then I explained the story after the confused looks and ended up going into wilderness instructing because I wasn't going into sports and I had the time to do the wilderness instructing, and that's how I ended up doing one of the jobs that has most shaped who I am today. And today, that's all that's left. So as I mentioned, I really like the stories behind lots of different scars, and I've got tons of them that I could share, but I would really like to hear other people's. My brother doesn't really have that many scars, but I do know some people that have some pretty cool scars. So I hope to be talking with them and getting videos posted starting in the new year. I'll post a link to the new channel in the description. There won't be any videos until the new year, but I hope that at least some other people find scar stories interesting as well, and will come join and watch some of those videos once they're posted. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow.